Hi folks, I'm Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness. Alameda County is in California, lying just southeast of San Francisco. Alameda County Sheriff Gregory Ahern is a big fan of the Rodeo Ranch Rodeo, and that's his right. What isn't his right is to run his office in support of the rodeo to the extent of disregarding the laws which he is supposed to enforce. In May 2019, Shark flew a drone to catch rodeo thugs abusing animals at the rodeo. The drone caught the thugs using electric shock to make animals appear wild, and that is a violation of California law. The phony cowboys who tried to keep cameras out of the arena were not pleased, so they called on their friend, the sheriff, the rodeo fan. Sheriff Ahern's deputies confronted us within a matter of minutes of receiving orders from their rodeo overlords.
Well, sir, when there's a drone flying over a large amount of people,
It's not.
sir.
That I can tell you it's not happening.
Okay, then that's fine.
Because
that's fine if that's not happening.
We're going by what was reported to us.
Brian Morrison, who is on the rodeo committee and is a rodeo sponsor, was going off like an undisciplined brat.
I'd like you to get the information, because if I get robbed, these are the guys I'm coming from. Okay?
What? Yeah, that's just stupid.
No, it's not. If you live in a rural area, you'll understand that, young man.
Stupid. The deputies wanted our identification, and since that is required on request with the FAA certifications we hold, we complied, although we had committed no violations whatsoever. The problem is that the deputies never filed a police report about their activities. That meant that the undisciplined man-child got to protect his identity, although we found it another way. Beside that, there's no official record about how the call was initiated or how the deputies responded, thus covering the rodeo's involvement in directing the sheriff's department. Most deeply disturbing is that the police provided our identities to the rodeo thugs. Indeed, that was the only reason they confronted us. This is a violation of our rights, but that is apparently the way the Alameda County Sheriff rolls. Once the rodeo ended, it came to light that our cameras had caught horses being illegally shocked. Now it was time for the sheriff to investigate, and if appropriate, charge the rodeo. But there was no investigation, or should I say, no investigation by the sheriff. The Hayward Area Recreation and Park District, or HARD, did investigate because it owns the land on which the rodeo was held. HARD determined that the shocking was a violation of California law and fined Cotton Rosser, the notorious rodeo stock contractor. But a small civil fine in no way compares to an appropriate criminal charge. Filing a criminal charge is the job of the sheriff, who is seeing no evil, hearing no evil, and speaking no evil when it came to the illegal behavior of the Rodeo Ranch Rodeo. We sent a letter to Sheriff Ahern to remind him of his duty to enforce the law, but there's been no response. So Sheriff Ahern's officers respond to illegitimate requests from rodeo thugs within minutes, but executing his duty when it comes to rodeo cruelty is ignored for months, apparently forever. There's a word for that. It's called corruption. On its website, the Sheriff's Office states,
"Each day our mission is to demonstrate our ability to enforce the law fairly and without bias, commitment to professionalism, service to the community with integrity and trust, obligation to duty with honor and pride."
Sheriff Ahern has obviously violated his department's mission statement and has betrayed the public trust. When the Rodeo Ranch Rodeo takes place in May 2020, we expect Sheriff Ahern's deputies to confront us again, because rodeo thugs will order it. As we did in 2019, we will treat them with consideration and courtesy, but we will not forget that we're dealing with a corrupt department. Stay tuned. I'm Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness. Before we go, we're adding this message to each video that exposes a PRCA-sanctioned rodeo. And because the PRCA is the largest rodeo association, that's most of them. We have on numerous occasions tried to bring specific concerns and allegations of abuse to George Taylor, the commissioner of the PRCA. These include the brutal abuse of steer busting, the disappearing of injured rodeo animals, the shocking of rodeo animals, and other cruelty. The concerns and allegations are founded on decades of video documentation and in some cases on official government records, all of which we have placed in the public domain for all to see. That Commissioner Taylor will not respond to the evidence leads to just one conclusion, that Mr. Taylor understands that the weight of the evidence is overwhelming and that there is no defense for the abuse, and most disturbingly, that Mr. Taylor, his administration, and the PRCA generally has absolutely no intention to change a thing. We find Mr. Taylor's determined indifference to be repulsive, no honor or dignity whatsoever. Corporate sponsors, supporters in the media, and of course those in the stands share in the cruelty, corruption, and cowardice. Mr. Taylor, you have a standing invitation to come out of your hole, step into the light, and man up. I'm Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video. You can subscribe to our channel to see more of our investigations and learn what you can do to help Shark help animals. To support Shark directly and gain access to exclusive content, consider sponsoring us on Patreon.